Welcome to Talk Law Radio with attorney Todd Marquardt of the Marquardt Law Firm at marquardtlawfirm.com.
Welcome back to Talk Law Radio. I'm Todd Marquardt on the radio, on Facebook Live, on YouTube, and on talklawradio.com. Go to Talk Law Radio's channel on YouTube. All you have to do is go to your YouTube app on your phone and click the little magnifying glass and type in Talk Law Radio, and then look for the Lady Justice logo in the red, white, and blue colors. Then click subscribe and join the fun, because then you can watch these episodes in bite-sized segments of 10 to 14 minutes apiece. You can even watch shorter videos that are a minute or so, and then you can share them with your friend and let your friends know how knowledgeable about the law you are. We're talking with Lorena Birdy and Jacob Warren with Financial Planning HQ about property management. And I wanted to ask about rent. How does somebody decide how much a tenant should pay?
You ask the experts.
And how has that changed over the years, and what resources do you use?
Yeah. So you definitely want to ask someone like us. Oh my gosh, I can't speak today. We have access as realtors to MLS, which is the multiple listing service. This is where all the data is stored when people sell their houses, when they rent their houses. So when we go in there after we've reviewed the property, we're looking at not just what has rented in the area. Hey, it's a 4-bedroom, mine's a 4-bedroom, I should get the same amount. But we're looking at the condition of the property, upgrades, lack of upgrades, especially in these older neighborhoods, right, where it's not cookie cutter. They're not all the same, right? You could have a neighbor that got, $2,000, and you're not going to get $2,000 or what you're anticipating getting because your house hasn't been updated like theirs, or vice versa, right? So we really look at the condition and the market at that time. The market has changed. During COVID, it was slow, and then after COVID, it was like everyone was ready to move out of where they were living, right? And so prices hiked up. We were renting houses ridiculously priced, like $200, $400 more than what the market used to say it should rent for. And the struggle right now is trying to tell owners that, yes, I got that many years ago, but 2 years ago, last year it started to kind of
come down a little?
It started to go back to the normal prices, right? And so it's hard to tell owners that have self-managed before that, yes, you got that, but right now we're not at that time, right? Because during that time too, there wasn't enough inventory. Now there's a lot of inventory. You see a lot of Lennar neighborhoods popping up on the outskirts of San Antonio, right?
I've heard that.
A lot. And so a lot of investors came from California, purchased these Lennar homes that are affordable. And so now it's saturated in those areas. So there's a lot of competition. So we have to look at everything.
And so why would somebody pay rent that's higher than what the mortgage is?
What their mortgage would be?
Why not just buy a house?
Well, sometimes they can't, right? You have the well-established, sorry to say, but attorneys that are going through divorces, or that maybe their money is tied up, so they can't buy a house because they're going through a divorce and the money is tied up and they have to rent, right? So there's situations like that. You have the military men and women that they want to invest here and buy here, but not at this time because they're not familiar with San Antonio, right? So they want to rent and just kind of see where they would like to invest. Before they make that.
I have another situation that you probably run into. It just didn't come to your mind, where somebody used to have a house, but they got laid off or got sick, and they got behind on the mortgage. They foreclosed on, and then so now they're trying to build their life back, and they have a high income, and so they can afford to live in that neighborhood. They just can't afford to buy the house because they've got bad credit.
Yeah.
Jacob, do you have clients with bad credit? Probably not.
I don't think so. Not that I can think of off the top of my head.
Yeah.
That's very true.
That's a good point, though, yeah.
But budgeting and having good credit, that's part of a financial roadmap for some, I would imagine.
It's super important if you're planning on buying at some point to get all that organized and know where you stand. Yeah.
Right. Great. I read in your bio that you have some professional certification for homeowners associations, or do you work with homeowners associations?
Yes. So yes and no. We do work with the HOA as a property manager. Of course, we have to work closely with them for our clients, but we have a whole pillar. My brother-in-law actually oversees our pillar of HOA. So we are the HOA for some communities as well. So that's part of our company as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Interesting. So I was telling you before that I was asking Grok, that's the artificial intelligence for X, formerly known as Twitter, what property managers complain about on X. And one of the things is they said difficult tenants and behavioral issues.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Do you have any stories you can tell about behavioral issues?
Yeah, that's why I don't have any funny stories, Todd, because, I mean, we have to deal with so many personalities, right? The owners and the tenants. I mean, okay, before I left the office today, I was talking to our maintenance manager, and he was like, hey, did you hear what happened yesterday? I said, no. He mentioned the property. He said that we got a call that the cops were out to the property, and it's a vacant home, and that there was someone in the property. So he booked it and went to the property, and he finds a gentleman there coming out of the home, and he's all like, the guy starts questioning, what are you doing here on my property? He's like, this is not your property, sir. I'm actually with the property management company here checking on the home because we got a call from the cops saying that someone was here that shouldn't be. And he's like, no. He was unhinged. He was like, this is my property. I paid for this, and I've got keys. Door was, kicked in, and
really?
So this is stuff that we have to deal with, but we're always like living on edge, like there's a lot of situations that we have to deal with.
That would be so scary. I bet your maintenance manager's a tough guy.
He is. He doesn't look it, but he is. Yeah. But yeah, we deal with a lot of disgruntled situations, a lot of personality issues, a lot of serious.
Yeah,
issues.
But that wouldn't be a tenant that you had chosen.
No, but even our tenants, we have the issues there too as well.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, what Grok said is non-payment, poor communication, property damage, unauthorized activities. Yeah. I think of Breaking Bad when I hear unauthorized activities.
Yeah.
What if somebody was renting your house and cooking meth in the basement? That would be horrible. That would be an awful mess to clean up.
It would. It's happened once, but before my time, so a long time ago. There's certain steps you have to take when that happens once you get the tenant out.
A hazmat situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Other problems that people complained about: high turnover of tenants, subletting without permission, leaving filth. Mm-hmm. Oh, I had a client one time, her son was the tenant, and tragically, her son died, and he wouldn't let her in the house. And so, after he died, she had to go in the house. It was her house, and she had to wrap up his affairs. It's bad enough to have a child die, but she goes in, there's a motorcycle in the living room.
You sure that's not one of my old tenants? No. That stuff happens, which leads me to saying, when you rent to family, make sure that you have a professional or that you have a lease, because that happens a lot.
Yeah, as an estate planning attorney, we usually discourage our clients from doing that.
Yeah, don't mix.
Or lending money to the family.
Seems like it never ends well.
Right.
Yeah.
Because the Bible says that the debtor is slave to the lender. So you don't want to get into that.
True.
Another thing that people complain about on X, formerly known as Twitter, is maintenance and repair headaches. Unexpected or frequent repairs, especially spikes or inherited problems from prior mismanagement, increased winter maintenance calls, for the heater. Plumbing, other issues pile up that require immediate attention. So do you ever have one of these self-managed people come to you and just beg you for help? Like, help me get this situation cleaned up.
All day, every day.
Because I hate the way that it's going.
Yes, all the time.
And so how do you get started?
Well, by listening, right? I need to get a better idea of the situation. And sometimes I don't get the big picture of everything. I get snips of it on the owner's side, right? So, but it's asking questions. A lot of the questions come from the experience that I've had in the past. I think when I was younger, I'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, we can fix it. And now I'm just kind of like, we can fix it, but this is what's going to happen. And I don't really want to go down that path, or,
The cost of repairs and cleanup and hiring contractors.
Yeah, but we take care of all that. We have our own maintenance company. So they work like a general contractor. So we have a multitude of vendors that we can dispatch at any time. We have, when we can't evict them in-house, if it's, because usually I get calls from owners that self-manage that are in a position where the tenant's not paying, right? And they need our help to evict the tenant. We can do that in-house if it's for non-payment of rent. But if an attorney gets involved, or if it's something other than non-payment of rent, that's when we get the attorneys involved or advise them to.
The first jury trial I won was an eviction.
Really?
Yeah. It was some little town on the way to Austin. I don't even remember. It was so long ago. I'll finish this story after the break. We got to take a break. Stay tuned.
This has been Talk Law Radio with attorney Todd Marquardt, brought to you by the Marquardt Law Firm. You can learn more at marquardtlawfirm.com. And be sure to listen to the full Talk Law Radio show Saturday mornings at 11 on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
Most families don't realize they have hidden legal blind spots until it's too late. Wills, trust, Medicaid planning, even protecting a business. These are the kinds of issues attorney Todd Marquardt helps uncover before they become problems. Todd is the host of Talk Law Radio, where each week he guides listeners through the legal challenges families, veterans, and business owners face, while showing them the practical steps to protect what matters most. Catch Talk Law Radio, Saturdays at 11 a.m. on 9:30 a.m. The Answer, 6:30 a.m. The Word, and now in Houston on AM 1070 and 103.3 FM The Answer, or anytime on YouTube. Planning isn't just about documents. It's about peace of mind, security for loved ones, and building a legacy that lasts. Don't wait for a crisis. Do it before you die.